talk a little bit about those red carpet moments. I mean, everyone looks fantastic, especially Zoe. What really shines through, though, is their confidence. So how can we use our body language in everyday life to present ourselves to the world like we are, in fact, walking a red carpet?
That's right. Patricia Stark, body language expert and author of Calmfidence, How to Trust Yourself, Tame Your Inner Critic, and Shine in Any Spotlight, is here to break it all down for us. Great to see you again, Patricia.
Great to be back. Good to see you.
Did you watch the Oscars?
I did.
And thoughts, top-line thoughts on the body language on the carpet?
Well, I watched the red carpet, which was a really rapid-fire red carpet. I was scribbling away like crazy. And I think overall, everyone, obviously, is trying to show their best light, be confident. I saw a few people fidgeting, adjusting some of those hot spots that we'll talk about, but it's a big night.
I also noticed Conan O'Brien at certain points was touching his nose, which is like one of the telltale signs of you're fibbing.
Supposedly, well, that's the whole Pinocchio thing.
That's why we have you here, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
And maybe it's just allergies. Body language, remember, is not mind reading.
It can't just
Maybe he was trying to will away a sneeze. He was trying to will away a sneeze. Right?
See, how women look at it and how men feel it are totally different things right there.
True, that's true.
Judging.
Oh
Very
my God.
judging.
Interpretation.
Okay, so I cannot imagine that they all feel calm, cool, and collected. What sort of things does one have to go through to give that outward appearance of, I got everything under control?
Yeah, well, I think, it's really that self-talk in the moment, right before they walk out, taking that deep breath, really getting their breathing under control, and kind of setting their intentions. Because body language happens when we react or respond, right? So reacting is an emotional thing. We feel something and, ooh, it happens before we can control it. Right. But when we decide to respond, we can say, okay, this is how I want to present myself. So it's having that kind of control in advance.
Right. What are some of the key body language cues that we should be paying attention to?
Yeah, well, people want to own their space. When you show up on the red carpet, you have to have that internal belief of, this is my place, these are my people, this is where I belong. And you're happy to be there and you have gratitude. But then you might have some of them, like I noticed with Demi Moore, she seemed a little bit nervous. And who wouldn't be nervous in that moment? But it's owning your space rather than minimizing your space or doing any of that self-touch, which are called pacifiers.
Oh, let's quick. I want to stick with that thread. Let's look at some of the stars from last night. We were going to tee up Demi Moore. Look at her. Let's take a look at what she's doing on the carpet and how she is trying to own the space.
Yeah, I mean, she looks beautiful, I think. Yeah. But what I noticed was there was a couple of times where she would go to put her hands in a certain spot, and then all of a sudden she'd change her mind. So it was a little less definite, and she almost felt like, oh, I'm not quite sure. Do I feel comfortable standing this way or not? Okay. So there was some of that fidgeting that I noticed, so that's why I felt maybe she was a little nervous. Or, you know you're being so judged in that moment, too, which is tough.
Okay.
Oh, all night long you're going to be judged, right? And so you can see her keeping her fingers pointed just so, doing things like that. I'm talking to a former pitcher who on the mound, I have people watching me. And I don't care. Right? It's a different thing, especially in Hollywood, in that huge moment of being on the red carpet. So those little tells, pointing those out are huge for them.
And you bring up a great point, because you're either relaxed or you're very self-aware, knowing you're thinking about what you want to do rather than just finding your flow of what you are going to do.
Let's look at Zoe Saldana and what sort of body language she was giving off.
To me, she was just so strong, so regal, so confident and elegant. I mean, just the way she's scanning the room, she's a good flow. She's got a genuine smile. She's a little playful. She's standing tall. She's really owning her space. It's like, I belong here. I feel great being here. She was enjoying herself.
She was enjoying it.
That's like a modeling background meets, you know what, I know who I am and I know why I'm here.
She's also a dancer.
Yeah, it is.
And let's also look at Timothy Chalamet. And then I have a couple of follow-up questions. My brain is going too fast right now.
So I was just like, I was torn here. When you put your hands behind your back, especially when I teach people for public speaking, it's showing you're not really accessible. You could receive like you're hiding something. It's just a little odd that he chose that, and then see how he's really grasping onto that wrist. I don't think that this is kind of a necessary evil for him. He probably doesn't love the spotlight. He'd rather do his thing and be an actor and be a performer. A lot of them don't necessarily like being in that part of the spotlight. Well, and I felt like he wasn't super comfortable here.
That's what I was going to say. I've covered red carpets and I've spoken to people who walk them, and those that are very uncomfortable say, I just have to act. I can't be myself. I'm just acting. I'm just pretending, okay, this is just another role. And how do we do that in real life without coming off disingenuine? You know, we're going into a situation. We have to show up. We know we're in the spotlight. We don't want to overact.
You don't. I think it's trying to have that blend of really feeling authentic, you know, enjoying the moment, being fully present, thinking about why am I here? You know, like if I had coached him, I might have said, I know this might feel awkward, but think about how excited your fans are to see you. You know, don't think so much about how, you know, I might not like this right now, but my fans are really happy to see me right now. So flash that big smile for them. Open up so that they have that chance to experience the spotlight with you in that moment. You know?
Something like persona versus personal, right?
Yeah.
That's, I think, where the contrast lies. When you're somebody always in the spotlight and in the public eye, people know you as one thing, and you have people that know you know you as something else, maybe.
Right, and this is a contradictory situation because think of that. A lot of these folks were used to seeing in a role, in a character.
Yes.
So now they're like, I have to be myself out there.
You're not the character.
Right, so that's very vulnerable.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Anything you can show us right now that would exude, what do we want to exude right now?
You want to show like a before and after of what it might look like?
Sure.
All right, so let's do some minimizing body language.
Okay.
So if you're minimizing your space, we tend to put our shoulders down, we tend to roll forward. We're literally making ourselves
I'm going to
smaller.
watch the beginning of the show and see what I do.
So like, look, you know, and then, you know, you're kind of looking down, and Timothy was looking down a little bit. You know, there was all of that going on. But when we want to open up and use our space, what are we going to do? Maybe put your elbow back across your, you know, look a little bit more. I'm using more of my space, so I'm feeling much more open and confident, approachable, accessible, right? So it's the minimizing versus the maximizing, opening up rather than blocking.
Sure.
You know, I want to be with you. I want to, you know, we can feel
Welcoming
that openness with each other, right?
See, now I know that for the beginning of the show now. sometimes I do this because I try to, you know, get to her size and want to, you know, conform.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because that happens a lot with tall people and small people. Tall people are always trying to get down to everybody's level, and it's making them look hunched over. And
meanwhile, I'm trying to be 6'7".
Me too. I'm there with you, girl.
She's ready to climb the beanstalk every time.
But that's great because then they'll say you have a tall personality.
That's right. That's right. Patricia Stark, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so
a
much
lot of
fun.
Absolutely. Don't forget to pick up a copy of Patricia's book, Calmfidence. Great title, by the way.
Thank you.
Wherever books are sold.
That's right. Coming up.